Welcome everybody to the Hurting Humanity channel. This video might not sound like an important video to you because it's about an actual music video, but this is actually one of the most important videos I can remember doing in a long time, because I'm going to break this down so simply for you and show you that this is not a form of art. This is a form of spell casting. And these musicians that you think are doing these weird exotic things like I'm about to show you with Lady Gaga are in fact witches and warlocks who are showing you exactly what they're doing to you. And Lady Gaga has a new song and video out called Disease. And how apropos it's called Disease, since the entire thing is about transformation and black goo. And if you don't know what that means or what I'm referencing here, think of all the disease we've been talking about over the last couple of years. It's been a hot topic, right? Remember that disease that existed and then they wanted you to go take something to cure yourself from that disease? Then they told you that what you took didn't cure you or make you immune from it, but it was really important that you had it? Yeah, I'll show you what this is all about right now because it's so in our faces. It's absolutely unbelievable, as you can see from the picture on the screen, of course, with that red blood one-eye symbolism right in front of your faces. And of course, the video is filled with one-eye symbolism. And for anybody out there, that's nothing new with Lady Gaga, excuse me. We've seen Lady Gaga do the all-seeing eye so many times. We've seen her dressed up as the Baphomet. I can go on and on and on about the signs and symbols of just Lady Gaga. In fact, I could even show you where Lady Gaga says, "I swear to Lucifer."
Sometimes they don't want to, and they're, Gaga, we can't get, the frequency's weird, and, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna, I get a little bit mad. I swear to Lucifer.
Right, so Lady Gaga swears to Lucifer, but of course, they're not Satanists. We're all crazy conspiracy nuts, right? And of course, you remember that time that Lady Gaga's face looked like, well, it looked like it had some reptilian features to it, right? Because that's exactly what Lady Gaga and these things are. And that's why it was so important for Lady Gaga in Bill Gates's most recent documentary to say things like, we're reptilian people. That's crazy. We need to start silencing people on the internet because people on the internet might figure out who we actually are. Now, you might have found it a little bit strange as well if you were paying attention as to how and why Lady Gaga was somehow connected to Bill Gates. But this music video shows you exactly how they're connected. And I'll show you right now. So the theme of the video, apropos that it's disease, not just because it's about everything that's going on and just went on in the world and what they need to get inside of your body, which is technology, but also because Lady Gaga's autobiography, if she was going to write one, I would assume would be called A Disease, since, most of these celebrities are actually living, walking, talking diseases. But the video is about Lady Gaga getting hit by a car, right? And we see behind the wheel of the car what just kind of appears to be this black demon, right? It looks like it's got spiky nails and spiky fingers. We get a close-up, of course. Oh, and we see the one-eye symbolism because, of course, one eye's deliberately shut and one eye's deliberately open. That's all done by design, of course. That's why we always see the all-seeing eye symbolism. But let's focus on the black and the spikes, because you may see a theme here with Lady Gaga. You may see Lady Gaga swimming in black goo. You may have seen this before. I've shown it many times. You may see the crown. That's not the crown of thorns that Lady Gaga is wearing on its head. That is a crown of the Antichrist. You see the black spikes coming out? Seems like almost the opposite of the crown of thorns, right? And the black goo is very symbolic to them because it has everything to do with the transformation. So pay attention. This demon thing gets out of the vehicle and starts spewing black goo out of its mouth. And Lady Gaga is laying on the ground as this thing is spitting out black goo. Now, I want you to look closely at the black goo here. The black goo, if you look at it, it looks like it's magnifying. You see how it's spiking? Take a look. Right, so you see how that black goo is spiking on the ground? It didn't look like blood. It didn't just look like Play-Doh or something that was still, it was bubbling, boiling, spiking, so to speak. It looked a lot like this. Now, what you're seeing on the screen, some people actually try to call ferrofluid because they say that graphene is non-magnetic, which is true. Graphene is, as itself, graphene just alone is not magnetic. But you know what is magnetic? When graphene, which is made of pure carbon atoms, is mixed with nanoparticles. So think about the combination there and say to yourself, nanoparticles, is that some type of technology? I've heard of nanotechnology. And then think to yourself for a second, where does the tie-in between Lady Gaga and Bill Gates come from, right? Witches and warlocks working together, of course. They're all connected to each other, whether they're influencing you through their positions in the world as big tech guys as Bill Gates, or someone who's artistic and makes music as Lady Gaga. These are sorcerers that you're watching in action. And that's the connection between them. Because you'd look at them and you'd say, that's certainly an odd couple, Lady Gaga and Bill Gates. But if you understand what's going on and how important these celebrities are in influencing the masses, because you could see people like Lady Gaga at the forefront of what? Combating misinformation, at the forefront of what? Getting a certain something inside of your body. And then you start to say, ding, 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 now I'm seeing where this is going, right? They're using these music videos to show you exactly what's going on in the world. And when you hear graphene and you see the black goo, that's what they're referencing. Graphene oxide and ferrofluid can be combined to create nano composites, right? And who's obsessed with this nanotech that we always hear about, these nano chips, right? And who just had a documentary come out where he was talking about how important it is to combat misinformation, get a digital ID, and seemed awfully scared when the subject of small microchips kept coming up over and over again. Oh, right, that was Billy Gates.
I think Bill's biggest concern is misinformation about the topics and the issues he works on. We're going to show you some of the things that are hot right now, inflating things into these massive conspiracy theories that include microchips, farmland, technology, about puppeteering world affairs. This is a real-time dashboard of all the misinformation about you. These are all the posts and issues.
I wonder if some things like the microchipping thing, is that dropped to zero? Or is
That's like core to so many of those sections.
So as the video continues, right, we saw Gaga on the ground with that graphene oxide sizzling magnetically right in front. And what happens to Gaga now? Gaga suddenly transforms. You see Gaga's hand suddenly transform? Watch. And what does that represent when you see Gaga go hand in hand with this demon? When you see Gaga embrace this demon? Because guess who the demon is that Gaga's embracing? Well, it's really Lady Gaga behind that black mask. And people out there see this stuff, they're like, oh, so Lady Gaga's good side, Lady Gaga's bad side. Lady Gaga is referencing what's happening in the world right now. The common theme is transformation. I've been covering this for years. It's a very common theme in the occult. That word trans you constantly hear, but you associate it with lunatic talk. But really what you should be paying attention to is the transformation that's going on, both mentally and physically, all around us. Transformation. This is a clip from Rihanna's music video called Anti-Diary. Why do you think it was called Anti-Diary? Because it was based on the Antichrist. It's a common theme. The entire video of Rihanna's was about taking the mark of the beast and the transformation. And this is a little clip from there where they talk about the transformation.
The transformation is coming.
The world will see who I am.
I follow you into the darkness.
Numbers are growing.
We await the greatness that beckons.
There is gold at the end of this journey.
How do you drown out the noise?
There is no end.
Only new beginnings.
The transformation is coming.
So the common theme is transformation. And when they talk about transforming, they're talking about literally transforming what it means to be a human being. Your genetic code, because that's what this is all about. That's all that it's been about. God's creation, us, we all have our own unique genetic codes. That's when you watch these crime shows and you see how they catch people and you say, wow, that's crazy. They got his DNA. That's 100% luck. Got to be that guy, right? There's not really much debating it. It's unique to him, right? Well, what they're trying to do is alter that. God's creation, transform it into something else. And that's what she's referencing here with the disease, with the black goo. And it's fitting that the video ends with Lady Gaga lying between two homes. And what happens to the two homes? The walls just close in and suffocate Lady Gaga to death, which is really what's pretty much going on in a lot of people's bodies, or soon to be going on in a lot of people's bodies. Because really what they're doing is suffocating humanity. These demonic entities that are being brought forth with this fallen angel technology that they're using to alter human beings. And a lot of people believe that the altering that's going on with genetic codes is mixing man's DNA with the fallen one's DNA. And speaking of the Antichrist, as I mentioned, you may have noticed with the all-seeing eye symbolism in the video, with the demonic eyes that people will focus attention on, that deliberately they even put the X across Lady Gaga's mouth. They do that deliberately, right? I've just covered this many times about the Antichrist and the symbol X and why you always see it, okay? That's what the X stands for. That's why you see all the Freemasons always building the X over their chest. Stephen King, all these celebrities, Robin Williams, Matt Damon. The list is endless of how many people you can find doing the X symbolism and nobody thinks twice about it, right? Because they don't see it put together side by side. When you see it put together side by side, your brain goes, yeah, there's something to this. Why are they all doing this? It's like a gang. It's like a gang throwing up symbols. Why is the cookie cutter so nice Taylor Swift doing it? Why is Miley Virus doing it laying in some type of purple goo? The transformation, ladies and gentlemen, is already underway. It's already underway around us, and nobody's paying attention to it. So Lady Gaga comes out with a song called Disease. The lyrics of the song, of course, what do they reference? What do you think Lady Gaga's song would actually reference? Well, of course, there's lyrics in there about poison being on the inside, right? Poison on the inside, but she must be talking about, some relationship that she was once in, right? Then saying things like, if you were a sinner, I could make you believe. Or, in fact, saying, like a God without a prayer, because they're always referencing God and the devil in these songs. They're not referencing exes and breakups. They're referencing God and the devil, the hatred that most of these demons spew in their music videos, which are nothing more than a form of spell casting. The hatred that they're spewing is towards our Father in heaven. It's not towards some guy they broke up with a few weeks ago because they told you on TMZ that their relationship went sour. That's not what this is about. This is spiritual. And these people, and these demons, I should say, in these music videos, this isn't a work of art. If you know what's going on and you see this stuff, it's right in front of our faces. It is hard to decipher sometimes because when you're watching these things, they're hitting you with frequencies. So your brain waves are being lowered and the spells are then being cast upon you, right? Learn about frequencies. Music is a frequency. And when you're watching this stuff, they lull you to sleep and they spell cast on you. That's why you have to constantly be in a conscious state of mind. You have to watch this stuff and be critically thinking. It goes for the news, it goes for music videos, it goes for movies, it goes for everything. The truth is being revealed to us every single day. And I said earlier in the video, it's one of my most important videos, because when I see something like this, I say to myself, can I break this down simply for people out there? I know I can't say certain words in the video because I'll get dinged, and I don't feel like getting dinged on the channel, but I still went above and beyond as far as risking the channel to get the truth out, which I always try to do by showing you, okay? There's a connection between what? Lady Gaga and Satan, right? The all-seeing eye symbolism, the Baphomet symbolism, always wearing the horn symbolism, saying I swear to Lucifer, even showing its face mutated was all done strategically by design, right? And the connection with Bill Gates and Lady Gaga. Because when you pay attention to the fact that Lady Gaga sure has an obsession with black goo, this black liquid, and nobody thinks anything of it. Venom, all these movies I've shown you where they constantly reference transformation via black goo. Prometheus. There's a consistent pattern here, right? What's the consistent pattern? They're referencing black goo over and over. And when they reference it, they're referencing a transformation. And then when we think about Lady Gaga showing us those spikes, well, we know a black liquid that spikes and has spikes in it, right? That graphene mixed with ferrofluid, that graphene oxide, which can make magnetic impurity nanoparticles, right? And then all of a sudden you start thinking about that stuff they were talking about getting in you and constantly hearing them say crazy things on TV. They wanted you to think it was crazy about trying to get chips and all this other stuff inside your body. Oh, they're trying to get chips in, right? Well, what's another word for a chip? Oh, a nano chip, nanotech. You know, something so microscopic you couldn't see it, so you would never even know if it was getting dropped on us from the sky or put in our food or, in fact, injected in some people. Excuse me, did I say that out loud? I did. It's amazing when God frees you from this and you see these things and you see the repetition and you see these demons for what they are, because they reveal themselves. Rihanna, transformation. Anti-Dire, really about Antichrist. Lady Gaga has to crawl back out, of course, which one of my other favorite things, by the way, is I absolutely crack up when I see things like The Joker 2. I didn't see the movie, but I see Joker 2 so bad it's almost laughable, because I know this gets to these demons because they're so vain. They love this praise so much that they get from people. When they actually make one of these things, like that's what I always get on Jared Leto about, because everything he does is a flop. And they still roll them out as if they're famous, but they're embarrassed. They get humiliated, right? I always love that when Lady Gaga and the rest of them get embarrassed. So she came out with Joker 2 as complete embarrassment, supposedly one of the worst movies ever made. And a few weeks later, releases Disease, gets everyone's attention off of that, and they go, oh, Gaga's back to being Gaga, being an artist. No, Gaga's back to spell casting on you. The only way Gaga knows how to spell cast on you, because her movies and her, her TV series, like when she's in American Horror Story, aren't going to work as well as when Gaga spellcasts in its videos, because most people out there just go, well, that's just Gaga. That's just kooky, crazy stuff, right? Like Madonna, it's just kooky and crazy. They're all just so artistic, even though they all do the same thing over and over and over again. If you know what's going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen, the transformation is underway, and they're showing it to you, and they're not hiding it anymore. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families, as always.